everyone, in this video we'll talk about the capillarity in soil. For more such videos and solved examples, you can sign up on our website apscd.in. The link is given in the description. So we know as such for capillarity we have studied in fluid mechanics that if we have a container and then this container can be filled with a liquid like mercury or even water, and we insert a tube in this container, so the water rises in this small glass tube up to some extent, and that happens due to the capillary action. So here basically this capillary action takes place due to the surface tension. So whenever we have these two interfaces, like here we have liquid glass, or liquid solid or liquid gas, these interfaces are there. So at these interfaces, due to the cohesion between the two materials, the capillary rise takes place. So the same phenomena can be seen in soil also. So if the rainfall takes place over a land, so some of this water under the gravity it will flow towards a stream and it will join the stream, or it will go into a lake, but some of this water will also percolate downwards, and here whatever soil is there, and these pores will also be present. So the pores that are there, these pores will be completely filled with water. So in this process what will happen, we'll have a height at which these voids that are present in this part, whatever voids are there in the soil, these will be completely filled with water, or we can say the soil will be saturated under gravity. And here this surface up to which it is completely saturated, the pressure at this surface will be atmospheric, because in this part also these voids are all interconnected. Basically we have the porosity, and the pressure at this level will be atmospheric. So this surface here is known as the phreatic surface, because the pressure is atmospheric. Now what should ideally happen if the water was only moving under gravity? If it was only moving under gravity, then the soil should be completely saturated up to this level, and it should be completely dry above this level. But in reality that's not the case. Up to some more depth in this part, the soil is still completely saturated, and if we go even further, then in this part the soil is partially saturated. And these things, the saturation and partially saturation above the water table, is not happening due to the gravity. This is the force that is acting against the gravity, and that basically is happening due to the capillary action in soil, or capillarity in soil. So basically we have the water in these pores, and then these soil grains are there. So the cohesion force between the water and these grains act, and because of that the water comes up to some distance in this soil, and it makes it saturated. It makes the soil saturated up to some distance and partially saturated above that part. So we can obtain an expression for capillarity also by equating the forces. So let's say we know we have this water here in the container, and this is the capillary rise, let's say HC. So if we look at it closely, so here this meniscus will form, and this surface tension will be in the tangential direction. So in the vertical direction, if this angle is alpha, then the component in the vertical direction of the surface tension force will be T cos alpha, and in the downward direction the force is due to the weight of this water in the column. So we can say the downward force, if we write an equilibrium equation for the vertical force, is sigma Fy is equal to 0. So in the downward direction the weight of this water column is acting, so that will be pi by 4 times d square. Let's say d is the dia of this glass tube, times unit weight of water times the height HC. So area times height gives the volume, and multiplying it with the unit weight of water, we find the total force acting downward, and in the upward direction it is being balanced by the surface tension force or the component of this force, that is T cos alpha, and this force is acting all around the periphery of the glass. So periphery will be pi d. So this pi d cancels out here, and we get the expression for Hc as 4T cos alpha upon gamma w times d. Now the angle alpha in case of glass is very small, so we approximate it to 0, and then we get the expression 4T upon gamma w d. Now the value of this T, if we talk about the pure water and in this clean glass tube, the value of T is given as 73 dynes per centimeter, and gamma W we know it is 9.81 kilonewton per meter cube. So if we use these values, we obtain the value of Hc in meter as 0.03 upon d. Here d we take in mm. So this is the formula. Now in case of soils, an empirical equation is used instead of this, which is given by Terzaghi and Peck. So in this equation, this Hc in centimeters, it is given as C upon E d10. Here C is an empirical constant, E is the void ratio, and d10 is the effective size of particles for a soil. So here the capillary rise depends more on the pore size than it depends on the effective size. For the same effective size, even if we take two soils that are having the same value of this d10, the void ratio or pore size that we can infer from this void ratio can be very different. So if the void ratio is smaller, then the capillary rise will be higher. In a similar way, if we have a glass tube that we are inserting in water, so the dia of this glass tube, if this dia is smaller, then the rise will be more. Here also we can say the height, the capillary rise is inversely proportional to the dia of the glass tube. Now there are some more effects that take place in real situations due to this capillary effect. So we know the soil properties all depend upon the effective stress of the soil, as I talked about in the previous video, and we know effective stress is given as sigma minus U, that is total stress minus pore pressure. Now for pore water, that is below the water table, we know the water that is present in this part, in these pores, the water that will be present, it will be in compression. So the pore pressure that we give it as gamma W times H, that is the hydrostatic pressure distribution. So the pressure increases as we go below the depth. Now in case of capillary rise, what happens? In case of capillary rise, these water molecules are being lifted upwards. Now in this lifting of these molecules, the molecules come under tension. So in this part, the water is in tension. Now in this case, when the water is in tension, if we are treating compression as positive pore pressure, so in case of tension, the pore pressure becomes negative. So in case of capillary part, we give the pore pressure as negative gamma W times H. Now from this expression, we can basically say the pore pressure is negative or in tension in the capillary part. So we get effective stress as sigma plus U, because the pore pressure is negative, so here we'll get two negative signs or positive. Now here we can see that because of the existence of capillarity in soil, the effective stress is increasing, and if the effective stress is increasing, then there will be a increase in shear strength of the soil. So there are some practical cases where we can observe this thing. So if a sandy soil or silt is there, in these cases, if we are making an excavation in these type of soils, then the soil can be excavated up to some depth without any support. And that happens because of the increased shear strength in this capillary part. If the soil was completely saturated or if it was completely dry, then you can imagine also if we have a dry sand, then in that if we want to even dig a hole, the sand from the sides will cave in into this hole and it will not be so easy. But in this capillary part, the shear strength increases and this structure of the soil holds up and we can do some excavation in this part. But if the soil suddenly becomes saturated, then this hole will be filled with the sand, because the stability was there due to the capillary action. And if the soil is saturated under the gravity, then this capillary action will vanish. Then there is one more phenomena that we know as the bulking of sand, and because of which it is not a great idea to measure the volume of the sand in partially saturated condition. So in the tension part or in the capillary zone, if we take any two sand grains, so a menisci of water will form, and because of this menisci there will be an apparent cohesion. Apparent cohesion means that there is no actual cohesion, but because of the forming of this menisci, we are getting a feeling of this cohesion in the sandy soil, and that is what we are calling as apparent cohesion. Now because of this apparent cohesion in the sandy soil, these small structures form, and in this partially saturated condition, because of the formation of these structures, the soil will look something like this. So here we have very large void sizes, and because of that the overall volume of the sand will increase, or it will have a illusion of the increased volume of the sand. Whereas if we make the sand completely dry or saturated, then the volume will decrease, or it will come down to its actual volume. So bulking of the sand also takes place due to the capillarity of soil. So all these points you can remember about the capillarity in soil. I hope you found this video useful. Please like, subscribe and share this video with your friends.